Chapter 3, Palace of the Moon. You cower in the shadow of the gnarled tree. Stone wall at your back, the horrid beast unfurls its wings, and its screech rends the night air. Ah! Alone in the dark courtyard, where you are definitely not supposed to be, you realize with despair that no one is coming to save you this time, and you're on your own. I can't run to the woods or it'll hunt me down for sure. I have to get back into the palace somehow. I should distract it. You feel blindly through the dark, scrabbling for something, anything to protect yourself. Get away! With a scream, your hands close on the only thing available to you, and you toss a handful of dirt in the beast's face. The beast screeches, temporarily blinded. It swipes at its eyes, while you take the opening to run. Just a little further. You don't dare look back until you're safely inside the palace, the door slammed and bolted behind you. That was too close. You creep over to a window and peek out. The beast paces the courtyard, agitated, looks up, the full ferocity of its gaze knocking you back a step. Looks like I need a new plan. With heart heavy with disappointment, you trudge back to your room, checking before you sleep that the latch on the window is fastened, just to be safe. The next morning, dawn, bright and clear, banishing your fitful nightmares. You look around and sigh. I'm still stuck here, but at least I'm in one piece. You edge hesitantly to the window where dust motes hang suspended in a buttery ribbon of sunshine. Your room is beautiful, but it is still a cage. I'll find my way home, just as soon as I find a way past these walls and that creature. Remembering last night, you risk a peek through the rippled glass. No winged beast prowls the gardens now, but escape will have to wait. How long Claw will be expecting me? With a sigh, you make your way down to the kitchen. I find Longclaw cheerily drying dishes. She brightens when you enter. Good morning, my dear. There's breakfast on the stove for you, and a nice spot of tea. Did you sleep well? I thought I heard something outside. I heard wings and this terrible screeching. I think it was the winged beast. Oh dear, it does prowl about the grounds at night sometimes, but I promise you're quite safe inside the palace. What am I to do this morning? Do I have to serve the prince breakfast? She gives you a sidelong, curious look, but it's impossible to read much meaning in her fur-covered face. His Highness will likely sleep for a few hours yet. In the meantime, you can start by replacing the chandelier lights in the ballroom. I suppose I can manage that. Where do you keep the candles? She laughs, a deep, rumbly sound that surprises you with its warmth. No, my dear, I meant the lights. Don't tell me you've never done such a thing. Abruptly, she thrusts a huge glass jar into your hands. What is this? Inside it, 100 tiny flames dance like fireflies, twinkling in streaks of orange, yellow, and hints of blue. It's some sort of fey joke, right? Longclaw only looks at you wryly, one eyebrow raised. Does it look like a joke, my dear? Honestly, it's hard to tell. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the Fae can keep fire in a jar, but what am I supposed to do with it? Simply scoop one Fae flame at a time, place it in the chandelier's brackets. And how do I do that? They're made of fire. It's not as if they will burn you. Be quick, though. They're mischievous little things. Give them a chance and they'll skitter out of that jar all over the place. So, that's how you end up carrying a jar of actual fire into the dark ballroom. You carefully place it on the ground and lower the large chandelier. There's no way this is going to work. You carefully unscrew the jar's lid to remove the first flame, and all at once, the flames pour out, escaping the jar by the dozen. No, come back! Ah! The flames scatter into the air, throwing tiny, dancing shadows against the walls, buzzing and sizzling around you like a swarm of bees. Oh, for heaven's sake, I'll use something as a net. Tell them to behave. You stand in the middle of the room and summon the stern voice you use on the drunkest bar patrons. That is enough. You get back into this jar this instant. As if deliberately flaunting your command, the flames swarm around you, zipping past your face. You have a distinct impression they're laughing at you. Oh, this is impossible. You chase them until your patience and dignity are both exhausted, then flop defeated onto a disused sofa. A cloud of dust poofs up around you as you watch the flames dance just out of your reach. Fine, you won, I surrender. And just as you're considering going to find Long Claw, a few flames flutter over as if curious. One brushes your cheek like a warm butterfly's wings. Come to gloat. You reach out a cautious hand and hold very still so as not to scare them away. One flame seems to sniff around you and then alights onto your outstretched fingers. That wasn't so hard now, was it? Gingerly, you stand up when the fire doesn't bolt. You walk it over the chandelier where the flame settles into its new perch, happily enough. So that's it. You all just wanted to get a chance to play first. I guess I can't blame you for that. But now it's time to get back to work. One by one, you coax the fey flames down and move them to the proper place. Finally, you raise the chandelier, lighting up the whole ballroom. Pretty, very covered in, stuff, but it looks so much better, except now I see is cobwebs and overgrown plants. You find yourself tidying up where you can. The whole palace feels eerie and abandoned, but you can only imagine how grand it must have looked in its prime, full of beautiful nobles of the moon court dancing the night away. I wonder what happened to this place. It doesn't look like there's been a ball here in quite some time. You pick up a carved wooden statuette from the floor and look around for where it might have belonged, with a glint of metal catches your eye. I wonder what that is. You make your way over to discover a slim dagger carelessly discarded on a dusty shelf. You look around, but it's clearly been there for a long time and forgotten. Temptation stirs. It sure would be nice to have something to defend myself with, especially if I'm going to go up against the winged beast again, not to mention all the other dangers I could run into. Diamond choice. Take the dagger. You snatch the dagger up and quickly hide it in your boot, careful not to cut yourself. Nobody here will miss it, but it might make the difference between life or death for me. On your way back to the kitchen, you come across a sturdy door that, if you have the layout of the palace right, seems to lead up to the tallest tower. If I could get up there, it would be a great vantage point. I could plan out my route for next time I try to escape. You look left, then right, and then reach for the brass of the handle. Oh, Ella, no, you mustn't! Longclaw comes rushing up to you out of nowhere, hustling you out of the hallway and back into the kitchen. Why? Is there something secret? Longclaw laughs at your question a bit too loudly. Secrets? Don't be silly, my dear. Why ever would I need to keep secrets? It's simply an old tower, not a very good shape, but to stay away. I don't wish to see you hurt. But before you can question her further, Longclaw thrusts a basket of dried corn kernels into your arms and pushes you towards the door to the courtyard. The ravens need feeding. Hurry along now. They get quite troublesome when they're hungry. You feed ravens? Can't they forage for themselves? I'm sure they could, but they're terribly lazy. Quite rude, too, but you needn't worry. Just watch your head and you'll be fine. Longclaw gives you a final push and shuts the door behind you, leaving you alone in the sunny but neglected courtyard. Well, that wasn't suspicious at all. You shake your head and walk slowly through the courtyard until you reach a gnarled copse of trees where ravens are gathered, their squawks deafening above your head. Ah! Hello there. I'm here with your lunch, I suppose? The ravens ignore you, preening and flapping at each other. You shake the basket in invitation, but receive only suspicious side eyes in return. Well, you want this corn? Guess it's mine now. You turn your back to the mocking call, scooping corn from the basket and feigning, bringing it near your mouth. Tasty corn, all for me. Rah! There was a catacomb of angry squawks as the mob descends upon you, furious wings buffeting you from all directions. You toss the bucket to the ground and cover your head with your arms. Stop it! Claws and beaks swipe at you as you try in vain to get away. You trip suddenly over your own feet and fall hard onto the grass, scattering the last of the corn in every direction. You look up cautiously, realizing the ravens have abandoned their attack and are now content to peck happily at the corn all around you. Even the croaks sound like laughter. Sir Montgomery emerges from the palace to find you in a heap on the ground, glaring at your winged nemesis. He chuckles as he pulls you to your feet. I see you've met the scourge of the Moon Palace, my fiendish feathered foes, bane of my very existence. Up you get, young lady. Best not to let the smug bastards believe they've won, I was just trying to feed them. You gesture helplessly at your grass-stained knees and the mess they've made of your hair. Sir Montgomery gives you a knowing smile as he beckons you over to a wooden bench.
They don't warm easily to newcomers. Why, it took a decade for them to stop dropping twigs on my head whenever I set foot outside.
They probably thought your head was a nest or something, I don't know. He untangles a twig from your hand and holds it up, taking his head ruefully before tossing it away. Thanks for coming to check up on me. It seems like I'm making a mess of everything today.
No trouble at all. We mere mortals must stick together.
Wait, you're human too? How did you become Prince Kieran's bodyguard? Did you grow up in the Moon Court?
As a matter of fact, no. I spent most of my life as a hermit, traveling from place to place, until the night I met Prince Kieran's mother, that is.
His mother? You knew her?
Aye, and what a fortuitous meeting it was for us both.
The aged knight stares wistfully into space, a sad smile creasing his kind features.
My life changed completely that day in ways a simple hermit could never have imagined.
You're the tale of a humble peasant. Diamond choice. Collect the winter night. Winter night. There was once a poor hermit by the name of Monty Snow, who set out alone in the forest on a cold winter's eve. It had been a long and bitter winter, and his belly ached with hunger, for the woods were empty of game. At long last he came upon Hoof Prince in the snow. The hermit was a skilled woodsman, and soon tracked down his prey, a wounded doe, surrounded by a pack of hungry wolves. The hermit loosed an arrow, striking one of the wolves, and chased the rest away. The doe looked up at him, and in the dim light he could see that she was pregnant. A wounded doe would not last long in these woods, and even though the hermit had tasted meat in weeks, he could not bring himself to kill the innocent creature. Instead, he bound the doe's leg and returned to his hut, empty-handed. Many days later, the hermit was preparing a meager meal of boiled roots when he was visited by a tall, elegant fey woman dressed in a fine ebony dress with a crown of jewels like stars upon her head. The hermit immediately dropped to one knee, noticing that the woman had a bandage tied around one arm.
I am at your service, my lady, said the hermit, confused.
Rise, noble hunter, said the fair lady with a smile, for I am the ruler of Moon Court, and I am also the doe that you rescued in the woods.
How's that possible? Asked the hermit.
Our kind have the ability to turn into animals if we wish it, she explained. I am still learning how, and when the wolves attacked me, I was too scared to return to my true form. You saved my life without even knowing who I am, she said warmly. The hermit ducked his head, abashed. But not only me, you also saved my unborn child, and for your selfless act, I wish to offer you a gift. I invite you to leave this life of hunger and hardship behind. Come and join my court, live in the Moon Palace, and become the captain of my guard, where you will live a long and happy life in my service. The hermit readily accepted and left the mortal world behind that very night, never to return. It is said that to this day his loyalty to the Moon Court has never faltered. Is it possible that the prince is the giant beast, since they're never in the same spot at the same time?
It was just before Prince Kieran's birth, so it must have been, let's see, over 150 years ago now.
What? But how are you still alive? He rushes to your face immediately, your own rudeness, but Sir Montgomery just chuckles heartedly.
No need for apologies, I'm aware. I'm an ancient old culture. Living among the Fays extended my life beyond what it should have been. Fey magic has that effect on mortals who spend long years here. Though, of course, I shan't live as long as a true Fey would. I don't suppose I would want to either.
But 150 years, that's still quite impressive.
Aye, it has been a great honor to be able to serve the court for so long. You know, Ella, the same will happen to you, should you choose to stay.
All due respect, Sir Montgomery, but I don't have any intention of staying here. His cheerfulness sours a little.
But of course, my lady, 'tis not a life fit for everyone.
The two of you chat amicably, Sir Montgomery launching into tales of his early days in the Fey Court and Prince Karen's childhood. It's almost enough to make you forget your predicament.
A more spirited child I've never laid eyes upon. You know, when he was but 3, he decided all animals would be better if they had wings.
Even Fey children dream of such nonsense?
Indeed, but only Fey children have the ability to make their imagination into reality. The young prince whipped up a bit of magic and set to work giving wings to mice, rabbits, whatever he came across in the garden.
Oh dear, that must have been chaos.
Karen the sly fox managed to evade detection at first. That is until he set upon the cook's favorite cat. That grouchy old tomcat yowled like a mad badger, chasing mice up the velvet curtains.
The two of you burst into a long fit of laughter, the first you've had in days. What happened to the cat?
Oh, the cat made sure it was never in the same room as Prince Karen again.
Suddenly, Sir Montgomery's face falls and he heaves a heavy sigh.
Prince Karen used to be a kind, gentle soul, always quick to laughter, but then...
But then, what? Did something happen?
There you two are!
What? What do you want? A hairy long claw emerges from a nearby door, a basket of clean laundry clutched in her paws. She passes the basket into your arms. Prince Karen should be awake soon, and it won't do to let him go without clean clothes.
Ah, dear Longclaw, good morrow to you. And how does my gentle lady fare on this fine morning?
Sir Montgomery stands and executes a crisp, courtly bow. To your surprise, Longclaw smiles and performs a perfunctory curtsy in return. I fare quite well, my dear Sir Monty. Now forgive me, but I must steal Ella away from you. You sigh, and half the basket, the smell of fresh linen wafting in the air. The break was nice while it lasted. Good day, Sir Montgomery. Sir Montgomery sits back down on the bench, still looking wry and thoughtful.
The young master is getting a bit too big for his britches, if you ask me. I dare say it's high time the lady of the house taught him the value of an honest day's labor. Let him wash his own under things for a change.
The lady of the house? Do you mean Kieran's wife? But I thought it was just the four of us in the palace. Is Kieran married? Sir Montgomery looks confused and then laughs like you've told a grand joke.
No, Prince Karen's mother, of course. She always knows how to set the little rascal straight.
But I haven't seen anyone else. Come along now, Ella. We must get a move on. Longclaw quickly steers you away. Never mind all that, dear. Sir Montgomery just gets a little confused sometimes. Is it his health? Oh, no. He's still hale as anything. It's only that, well, nearly 200 years' worth of memories is a lot to keep straight. She glances back at the old man, a look of concern flickering across her face before she shakes it away. Nothing you need to worry over, dear, but it was kind of you to sit with him. I know he must enjoy having fresh ears to fill with his tales. She pats your cheek fondly with her great paw, and you're oddly reminded of your own mother. Now off you go. We don't want the prince waking up to an empty wardrobe. Why does he only have, like, one outfit? As you climb the long steps towards the palace, you take a moment to look around, focusing on the small side gate, half overgrown with vines. That definitely leads back into the woods. If I can get to it, that's my way out. You continue up the steps, but you make note of the easiest path to the gate for later. The door to Karen's chamber is slightly ajar when you arrive. You knock hesitantly, but there's no answer. Oh, good. I'll put these away and be gone before he returns. You slip into the grand bedroom and head to the large armoire of dark, polished wood. Light streams in from the window, highlighting the mess. No wonder he needs a housekeeper. You start to put away the clothes when a soft noise comes from the direction of the bed. What was... Spin around to see Karen still asleep in the vast bed, and almost entirely naked. He looks so much gentler in his sleep, almost sad. Without really meaning to, you tiptoe closer, wondering how this unguarded expression could belong to the same haughty prince who glares and snaps orders at you. What was it he said yesterday? Both of us are bound by the laws of Fae, as though we had no choice in the matter. You look down at his sleeping form and frown. What could make the ruler of all Fae look so miserable, even in his dreams? You shiver as your eyes dance down the bare expanse of his sculpted body of their own accord, the elegant shape of his forbidding and enticing at once. And then your eyes return to his face, only to find him staring at you. Oh! Are you quite finished gawking? I wasn't... I was only... A Vulpine smile quirks upon his lips, and he arches against the mattress in a languid stretch. The silicone covers slide away, revealing even more flawless skin and lithe, rippling muscles. Your whole body feels suddenly hot. It's a bit difficult to breathe. Have you never seen a naked man before? You wrench your eyes away, grasping one side of the wardrobe for support as you begin sorting Kieran's clothes in the proper places. Pardon your highness, but I don't believe it's any concern of yours. So bashful. You're not a virgin, are you? None of my local bumpkins back home ever gave you a tumble in the hayloft? Anger flares, and the words come pouring out of your mouth before you have time to stop them. At least the local bumpkins knew how to give someone a good tumble. I shudder to think what you would consider a good time. Ah, yes, I can see you shudder from here. You continue stuffing clothing into the wardrobe, no longer caring where it goes. That's not what You are a fiend. And you're a menace, coming into my rooms while I slept to oogle me. If you wish to look at me unclothed, you need merely ask. Of course, I might make you work a little harder to earn the privilege. You stand up straighter, irritation outweighing the sense, and whirl around to give the smug prince a piece of your mind. I don't wish to spend another second in your presence. You are the one keeping me here. Breath catches abruptly in your throat as you realize that Karen is standing a mere inch away from you. I didn't hear. Slowly, eyes never leaving yours, Karen leans one slender hand against the wardrobe, his long, muscular body trapping you against the wood as he towers over you. When he speaks, his voice is a low, dangerous purr. I don't wish to spend another second in your presence, my lord. Your lips part, but no sound comes out. Flustered, you realize you've still got a pair of his trousers clutched in your hands. His hand reaches out, stopping a hair's breadth from your face. A wild, reckless part of you nearly leans into his touch. A moment later, he drops the hand with a huff. Enough. I have much to do today, so unless you're going to dress me, you better run along to attend your other chores like a good little mortal. His eyes are hooded as he looks down at you, a challenge burning deep inside. He is both handsome and frightening, commanding and infuriating, and part of you wants to see this through, as foolish as it may be. Diamond choice. Dressing him. Yeah, no thank you. No joking, sorry guys. You know, I'm sure I know where it leads. Kieran is so close you can feel his breath on your heated cheeks. For a moment, you cannot speak. Well, the tension seems to rise exponentially until you finally break it by shoving the trousers into his arms. Here. You duck under his arm and storm out of the door before he can call after you. You rush down the stairs and pause outside the kitchen door, trying to regain your composure and calm. You're racing hard before going in. Which, I have a question. Why would you dress him? He's keeping you prisoner. Just saying. What am I doing? He's Faye. He's as likely to devour me whole as he is to... You sigh, pressing your hands to your face and feeling like hot coals beneath your fingers. And you hear muffled voices speaking inside.
I worry for Ella. We must keep a close watch on her.
What? You press your ear to the wood and try to listen above your frantic heartbeat. A frightful growl comes from Longclaw. Such a sweet girl, but too curious for her own good. I'm not sure how much longer we'll be able to keep Kieran's secret.
We must try harder.
A dramatic, rumbling sniff rattles the door, and you realize Longclaw must be crying. It's terrible that Ella is in such danger and doesn't even know it. Sir Montgomery, whatever shall we do? It's probably because Kieran's the damn bird. What secrets have the Moon Court been hiding? You may be in more danger than you realize. Alright, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down to the description below, links to social media, Discord if you'd like to support me and my content. Without further ado, first and foremost, sorry about this being late. You know, in case you have been under a rock and or only care about choices, then just consider, you know, only caring about choices, I guess. For everybody else, thank you for your support. Thank you for your words of encouragement and, you know, being there for me. It means a lot. And without further ado, if you ever want to know all what happened, which was pretty tough, but I digress, feel free to either tune into the most recent live stream that I had. It was at the end of it, which I really kind of went into detail about the, I guess, ordeal, I guess I'll call it, that I went through. And all the information in regards to that was the live stream on 5/5 on Twitch. But yeah, anyway. Thanks again for watching. Love your beautiful faces. Peace out.